Today I'm going to be breaking down how I made my song Praise You. Now, this video is going to be split into two different segments. The first segment is going to be me breaking down the song about like how it's made, the mixing, mastering, all that in depth detail. Second segment is going to be me explaining more about what the song is about and what inspired it. Hope you enjoy it. I gotta warn you guys, this is gonna be one of those really informative and educational videos. So I got some drinks, snacks. This is gonna be a long one. Just give you guys a heads up. Alright, I'm in the OG project right now because I got some important stuff about these vocals I want to show you guys. So these right here were the original vocals I recorded.
I praise you. I take from you. I have faith in you. It's giving me all I can take.
If you heard the full song, you guys already know how this goes. This is just with the soloed out. This one actually isn't turned on. Okay, to get sounded like this, I used some stereo enhancer. Go more towards the left, boost in volume, a little bit of stereo separation, reverb, delay. It's right here taking out the bass, boosting. Oh, crap, sorry. Limiter for this one's kind of compressing. These vocals right here were actually pitch right here. If you look at the top left, you'll see plus 600 cents is right here. I'll show you again. That's how I got them sounding like this. Alright, I gotta go ahead and load into the other project, the one that's actually on all the streaming platforms, so I'm gonna cut at that point. Alright, we're in the main project where all stuff really is. I know this looks extremely complicated, but it's really not. I'll explain here in a minute. Okay, where should we start? I'm gonna start off with Flux's vocals. But first, before I do that, I want to show you another instance I added. I felt like mine were a little too plain, so I pitched mine back down to where they sound deeper. You can hear them if you listen very closely.
It's giving me all I can take.
The main vocal.
It's giving me all I can take.
You hear how it kind of helps it sound more full. Alright, let me show you what I added. Auto-tuning it sound right. I don't know why the plugin always does this, but I have them right here. And then a limiter. And then you listen again so you can hear them in front.
I praise you. I take from you.
And then these are Fluxy vocals.
Yeah, tell me what's your motive. I know that face for when you feeling low, cause I'm the one that wrote it. And anytime you step around, my lips go automotive. Put the car on drive, tell me pull up, I'ma drive it like it's stolen. I've been
Hits with the doubles.
Yeah, tell me what's your motive. I know that face for when you feeling low, cause I'm the one that wrote it. And anytime you step around, my lips go automotive. Put the car on drive, tell me pull up, I'ma drive it like it's stolen. I've been
and with his right and left
Yeah,
vocal.
tell me what's the motive. I know that face for when you feeling low, cause I'm the one that wrote it. And anytime you step around, my lips go automotive. Put the car on drive, tell me pull up, I'ma drive it like it's stolen. I've been playing around.
Okay, I'm gonna start off with the leads because I'm gonna be honest, I just copy and pasted all the effects I added on his leads to the pan right and pan left. And then these right here actually just pan accordingly by 50%. That's where these ones sit. Let me get all these plugins open. Alright. Again, they're sitting right here. Except for the left and the right vocal do not have this plugin. And there's no stereo separation on them either. They're playing how they normally would. This one right here takes care of the high end harshness. And this one takes care of the highs. This one takes care of harshness and DS's. For sure, basically a very nice saturator. If you do not have this plugin, I would 100% recommend picking it up. 10% on the mid air, 6% on the high air, the 1.7 negative trim, limiter, boosted up at around 200 hertz, dipping at 441, dipping at 1542, dipping again at 6102. Because those right there were just bad frequencies. And this right here is the main sauce. This is basically an emulator of those analog consoles you see in studios. So this one right here, basically adding in that kind of sizzle kind of sound. Like what kind of hear in like audio noise. There's kind of like a little bit of sizzle, and that's what people like about it. This one right here is just some analog EQ stuff. A high pass filter right here. I left alone a low pass. Noise gate's not really needed, but I had to play around with it until I liked it. Compression, this one kind of adds in more color while kind of keeping the vocals at level. The reason why I have it on super fast attack and super fast release is because I only wanted it to be skipping off the transients on the vocal. Really all what's to do with his vocals. He sent me his vocal preset for how I wanted double sound, so I just slapped that on. I'll go ahead and show everything he's got on there anyway. Actually, delay is off. Reverb. I don't really know what flagness does. This one's sending the vocal more behind the listener. Sound goodizer. This is what he's using for the saturation, compression, carving out the bad sounding frequencies. He really boosts it up. Where he wanted more of that sound at bass cut off. More bass cut off and more cuts in where I thought the vocals sounded bad. And a limiter. Okay, let's start off with the piano. Okay, Kind of use Saturn Addictive Keys. Find it. This in fact is saying where it is. Bass cut off. Big dip right here because it was really interfering with the vocals and I want them to be singing on top of the beat. And it's right here just for color. It's right here, that's a counter melody. Stage reverb. And then bass cut. Dipped where the vocals sit. So that interfere. And actually right over here in second verse, it switches up to like an arpeggiator. This piano is a lot more subtle in the background. That's really all what's to say about it. This is how I got going back and forth with Pangament. I love this plug-in, sorry. Again, bass cut off and dip where vocals sit. A violin which plays here in his first verse. I only cut out the bass and added in some reverb. Here's the 808s, using your truly the spins. Soft clipper. I basically stopped the clipping. And I don't even know why I added in 2 EQs because this one right here is only taking out the extra highs that was kind of interfering with the vocals a bit. All I really need to do really now that I do think about it was just adjust it to about right here and that would have been good. Anyways, whatever. It's right here kind of ducks out the bass a little bit more. Makes more room for the kick. I'll show you here in a minute. Kick has more of a bass cut. And once again, soft clipper. Hit my producer tag.
This is YB Daniel.
Claps. Nothing too crazy. Some compression to help control it. The soft clipper. Hi-hats. And this is a kick by itself. I have to play all the drums together for you guys. The piano. This one's actually just consolidated from the Addictive Keys. I reverse it, and then it kind of gives off this cool ambient effect. I think here is just makes it sound really narrow. I'll let you guys hear. I can hear kind of gives it that nice little swelling effect within the keys. Each right here are just kind of like impact bells to help it sound more impactful in moments I really want it there. This is actually ambient ice K bell pad preset. And for this, just kind of boosting up the highs and then taking out the bass. That's supposed to be a synth bass in here, but then I took it out. The filter claps. It definitely needed this kind of breaking point. And so I'm gonna start this down in really the same. So that's how I fix it. As you clearly hear, it's going for this very specific sound. Here's how I did that. Where should I start? Alright. I first then took out most of the highs. I had to leave some of the highs in there, or else it was gonna make it sound too muffled out. And that's what we don't want. It still sounded a bit muffled. That's where distortion comes on in. It helps distort that signal. It sound bigger. Reverb. But then because of the amount EQing, I had to put Fruity Stereo Enhancer so I can boost up the gain like all the way up, and then that made where it could be heard. What's next? Risers. These are just transitions. Choir and strings. These are actually playing in my hook. The choir, I'm using Sage Reverb and ducking where vocals sit. As a matter of fact, the choir is actually pan slightly to the left. I'll let you hear it by itself. Whoops. And then the strings, just ducking it where the vocals sit once again. Without losing the tonality, that's why such a small little cut. This one's pan more toward the right. That way, so then you're hearing the strings on this side, and then you're hearing the choir on that side. It's also to kind of help prevent the muddiness. And then to help make this track sound more full too, I am actually using the Shoddy Red Fox sound effects. And that is pan toward the right. And let me tell you about this a little bit more. So this one right here is going for the counter melody. I have it sounding more wider because, for one, you don't want it to sound flat you know? It's supposed to be instrument, it's supposed to be heard. Same thing with the main piano. Clap is in mono, of course. I slightly kind of adjusted the hi-hats to be a little bit wider because I didn't like how flat they sounded. Flux's leads, I decided to go ahead and widen them out a little bit in here too. I know I already did it in Panicate anyway, as you can see here. What's going on? See here, already wide, but I didn't think they sounded wide enough. And I have this going into a send where I got in the reverb and the delay I use for its vocals. It's a new note stage reverb, but still it sounded really nice with the vocals. Just widen out it doubles. As I said, I pan 50% and 50%. Nothing with serious separation. Modeled out the kick course. Made my vocals a little bit wider course. The bell is more toward the right. The synth bass before it was removed, I actually had that going more toward being wider. The filter clap of course is the mono. Quieter string that I said. Pan slightly, and the sound effects once again more toward the right side. And let me tell you why I did this much work. It's because you want to go ahead and use this to your advantage because it will help prevent muddiness. And trust me, that's really important. By making space for your stuff, kind of placing them in more of a space, that really help widen out the mix and kind of coordinate where stuff will go, and now make your mixing a lot easier. Just trust me, I always start with this first. And you especially want to start adjusting your meters right here too. That's also help. And let me show you something else too. I'm honestly kind of disappointed because it's kind of like what I learned from this song is you always want to add as much as you think a song needs. And I was too scared of the song sounding too cluttered if I added more. But I really wish I added more in this section. That's how bland as this sounds.
Yeah, tell me what's the motive. I know that face for when you feeling low, cause I'm the one that wrote it. And anytime you step around, my lips go automotive. Put the car on drive, tell me pull up, I'ma drive it like it's stolen. I've been playing wrong all along, don't know what it takes for me to just forgive, for you to feel okay. I took the longer road, had blisters, they swelling, avoiding snakes. For fun, trying to peace, praying to God that it don't break. My head is too fuzzy, I can't even recollect. You told me memories, now it always haunts me in my bed. Hard enough to fall asleep, it's a battle that I dread. But I wake up once again and try to find out where we stand. Tell me that you wanna run away with me and pack my shoes, leave without a trace and throw our phones into the woods. But that was just a dream and now I'm feeling so confused. I've been feeling a little sick, but I don't feel you in the room.
So it's good to hear. Not bad for the production, but I could have definitely done more to help this sound more alive. To me, it honestly just sounds kind of boring and just basic sounding. And now the hooks are super basic. Change up here with the little choir and the extra strings. But so all I really did here was just the one-time strings. And this one right here sounds more complete because there's a lot going on right here.
All the heartbreak, baby, and it makes it well with me. Find a substitute to indulge in me. Took so long to find this ecstasy, Ain't saying right, stopping like a feline. Time ago I had you, no one else gon' see what we like. The moment that I let go, grip the wheel and hit a hard right. It was just a dream, I'm in my body, but I wish I'm on the wall type. Wake up, it ain't even that deep, you need to stay up. Go and chase some money back and go make some. Once you get it off, feelings stay erased on. Yeah. Said I praised you, notice that I added D. That was past tense, baby, you ain't feeling me. I ain't feeling real either though, wait on me. I wanna run back fast without taking leave.
So, if you want to take something from me, this whole section right here, it sounds really full because of the more amount of effort I put into it to sounding good. I definitely kind of wish if I took more time to perfect this section and add more to the hooks, because like this right here is the only portion of the track that really has movement and energy. So it's kind of like whenever it comes to producing, you're always learning from your mistakes on previous tracks, and then you find out figuring out what you could have done better to help perfect it. But here's what you do though. You don't give up just because you did a number of mistakes on that one track. Instead, you go ahead and figure out what went wrong. You apply it to the next project. That's how you grow as a producer.
Alright, go for this little portion. And you gotta be honest, so whenever I did first release, I wasn't sure if people are gonna like it, and I ended up being pretty pleasantly surprised. I mean, I know I could have done way better with that track, and honestly, whenever it comes to stuff like that, you honestly just really want to take your time to perfect it, you know? And wait, what kind of inspired it was, I just had a piano melody idea in my head. I decided to lay down. And here's the thing too, whenever you get ideas popping up in your head, you want to act on it. I'm not talking write down, I'm talking actually get laid down. Because if you don't do it, whenever you try doing it again, it's not going to sound the same. I mean, the idea may be still there, but you gotta act on how you're feeling in the moment. That's how you make the best song that you can. Whenever it came to me laying down those actual vocals, I was honestly kind of just remembering someone that I was in love with, and then it's sad. I was like, fuck, wasting my time. That's kind of why during the hook I was like, but I've given you all I can take. You know, it's like, so I don't quite know how to put it in words, but I think you guys can probably figure out what I'm trying to say. It's kind of just like, I want to give her everything, but it's just, I can't because my mental health and stuff like that, you know? I'll say too, once I finally got that beat done, it's actually something I'm genuinely proud of. And then I started thinking like, I really wish I was able to rap again like how I used to. So that's kind of whenever I went to my Discord server, and then I asked if there was anyone that could rap on a song that I really want to put on out. I can't remember exactly, but I think I explained to them what it's about. But I mean, I could be wrong about that. Flux was the first person that showed interest in it, which I was extremely grateful for, because, like, I mean, that dude, he killed the verses, and I'm just honestly grateful that I get to work with such talented people. Kino's being the most recent one. I started making music whenever I was pretty late into being 16. I'll say this to my 16-year-old self. I definitely would not have been thinking that I would be at this kind of level. Like, I mean, I'm already making incredible music, and I already got people that want to work with me and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, it's kind of rapping for a bit and singing. Wasn't really my cup of tea, to be honest. And then I built my computer, got FL Studio, which I actually learned that around the time I turned 19. I'm 21 years of age now, and it's been a hell of a journey, but everything I put into learning it, it's for that has been well worth it. I've been producing for around a year and 4 months now. I had a guy in my TikTok DMs as well telling me that he finds it pretty impressive that I'm able to actually make music that sounds this good this early on. Because the real secret is, it's mainly just volume and EQ that you really worry about. After I learned that secret, and can't forget too, arrangement. Because what I was really fixated on was adding in as much as I can, because I didn't want to sound too basic. Whenever I did not really know what I was doing was cluttering up the track and making it sound bad. Or taking way too much out in the EQs and then ruining something that sounds pretty good already instead of taking out what's necessary. Basically ruining a beautiful vocal or a beautiful piano or anything like that, you know? So most of you might not even know about this, because I told, like, my friends from a very long time ago. They're pretty much the only people that really know about the story. Whenever I was in my junior year of high school, 16 at the time, I was 17. I met this girl that I thought was gonna generally be my forever, you know? And instead what happened was she ended up like just plotting lies on me in total, and then basically just called it off. She then also it's been so long, I can't exactly remember what happened. I've been trying my best not to think about it, but the day too, I know that she had me on back. She was also telling me shit like that eventually me and her could eventually get back together. And I'm not even kidding, like a day later she tells me that I should not be snapping her as often because she has a boyfriend. And then I was like, okay, what is going on here? I told her what she told me just the other day, and she was like, I never said that. That's a bunch of BS. That's what kind of got me being motivated into creating my first ever songs. Those were god awful, and I regret ever releasing them. Like, I mean, we do go all start somewhere, you know? So you can't hate on a person forever, because, I mean, I'm just this high school kid that just got his heart broken, going through the worst betrayal he's ever felt in life that he thought he was gonna feel. I actually have an experience that's a bit worse than that, but that's not related to what inspired me to first making music, you know? Yeah, that's kind of like the whole story about how I started. As for the rapping and singing part at first, after I graduated high school, that is when I took a pretty good break. I'm talking like almost a year from music. And then once I kind of really settled into my first job, getting my money right and stuff like that, that's when I was looking into FL Studio, because I was like, I really want to get back into this. I miss making music. Of course, my drummer was a disappointing idea. I mean, and I gave her my money. It's honestly a really long learning process. What I started off with was remixing songs. So I was finding songs that were already pretty small that I thought could use a little bit of extra work. So that's kind of where I started practicing my mixing stuff and learning how to do synths, pianos, laying down drums. It took me a little while to learn that the whole rule for drums is if it's a higher tempo, we'll put them on the threes, the claps and snares, I mean. And then if it's slower, the twos and fours. Now, honestly though, I do have autism, which makes producing a little bit of a hard job for me, because but you know, I take a little bit more time to think and process stuff, and I'm also a slow learner. Like, I mean, at the same time though, part of that is good, because I caught on really fast to certain stuff, you know, such as learning that it's mainly volume and EQ that you really want to focus on first, and then you do the added stuff and stuff like that, you know. I've also learned too that you never want to over mix stuff either, or else it's gonna sound like trying to think of a word. Hot shit. That's corny, but I mean, hey, that's my point across. Like, I mean, on a serious note though, I've already got everything out of the way, and I wanted to go ahead and say today, it's just pretty much like the whole story that praise you and how life's going and stuff like that, you know. Sorry, I know that I need to get really better at posts on YouTube. I posted a lot on TikTok, which that is YB Daniel Music. That's my TikTok. Same my Instagram. This year I'm gonna try to get really good at posting all three platforms, possibly more, because like only trying to rely on TikTok ain't gonna work. But on a serious note though, I I really hope that whenever you're watching this video, I hope you're having a good day. If you're watching this like right now whenever it's so cold, I'm hoping that you got there staying warm and stuff like that. Other than that, I hope you guys have a good day.